All right, this match, honestly, in my mind, had a little bit of a weird build-up to it. Sami Zayn lost the match to Braun Strowman, and he asked for a rematch, and was not granted it by Mick Foley. And then asked, and asked, and asked, and then the asking started turning into demanding, to the point where Sami Zayn was asking to not be a part of Monday Night Raw anymore, basically saying that if Mick Foley didn't have the faith in him to fight Braun Strowman, that he wanted to leave and he wanted to go to SmackDown. Honestly, in my mind, I knew that this was building up to the fact that Sami Zayn was going to fight Braun Strowman, and I was guessing that it was going to happen at Roadblock. It seemed like that was a good pay-per-view match to have for Roadblock. But to me, honestly, when Mick Foley came out and basically said that he was trading Sami Zayn to SmackDown to protect him from Braun Strowman, I was at the point of, a lot of people have thought that Sami Zayn is a guy that has a talent that could rise to the main event. He had great matches against Kevin Owens, the big blow-off match before the WWE draft. I don't know that if it was dreamt up that they would be on different shows where Sami would go to SmackDown and then Owens would go to Raw. One thing led to another, and they both ended up being on the same show, but they built up, everything, through NXT, with Owens beating Sami Zayn for the NXT Championship. The minute Sami Zayn debuted on Monday Night Raw, he went right after Kevin Owens. In their first WrestleMania match, which ended up being a ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship, Sami Zayn went right after Kevin Owens, and they, brought the fight to each other. These are two guys that doesn't matter where they wrestle, PWG, Ring of Honor, WWE, if these guys both ended up, living out their career and, go off and finish it in TNA like a lot of guys do, I'm sure they'll have one hell of a feud in TNA. They're not going to do it. But, to me, honestly, if Mick Foley was going to protect Sami Zayn, and say that he couldn't go in there and fight against Braun Strowman because Braun Strowman is too much of a monster, they might as well just put Sami Zayn, on 205 Live. They should make him fight as a cruiserweight. It just didn't make any sense. If people think that he's going to be the next Daniel Bryan, if, he's, the ultimate underdog who's going to keep losing and losing, but because of the fact he's losing and WWE isn't giving him the push that he thinks he deserves, that they're going to get behind him even more and push him up to being in a WrestleMania main event, a lot like Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania 30. I don't understand it, and I don't get it. But, Mick Foley, he poked the bear, told Sami Zayn that he was going to trade him for Eva Marie because that's the only even trade that they can make between SmackDown and Raw. I still don't really get this match because Braun Strowman has basically said that he could beat Sami Zayn in 2 minutes, but Mick Foley is giving Sami Zayn 10 minutes. So, my guess is that honestly this match is going to come to the 10-minute draw mark and there's not going to be a winner. I'm not sure if it's going to be where Sami Zayn, gets the moral victory by being saved by the bell where Braun Strowman is destroying him. But there's a part of me that really believes that Sami Zayn is going to be coming down to the wire where maybe he hits the hell of a kick, right at the buzzer, and he doesn't get a chance to pin Braun Strowman for the 1, 2, 3, even though Strowman's knocked out, and Strowman gets to walk away and still say that he is undefeated, and maybe then they have the match at the Royal Rumble, and Sami is looked at as a guy that can beat the big guy and get it done. But I would think that Braun Strowman is being built up to be in the Royal Rumble, even though in my mind, he's a guy that I know because he's Braun Strowman isn't going to win the Royal Rumble. You could get in there and be somebody like a Kane or a Mark Henry that gets a moment where they get to clear the ring and just beat the shit out of everybody. Throw 5 guys over the top. Even though they get eliminated a few minutes later, they still get remembered as they came into the Royal Rumble. They eliminated 5 guys. And it sort of puts them on a map of being, a main guy in WWE. And I'm not sure really people believe that Braun Strowman really is a guy. other than just being a guy on the roster. But I don't think that this match is going to have a finish. I'm hoping that it's a fun match, but I think that it's mostly going to be revolving around the clock, which reminds me a lot of Monday Night Raw and like a beat the clock challenge, which when they do those on Monday Night Raw, I just click, hit the button, because honestly in my mind it always comes down to the last match is the only match that matters. Either somebody's going to beat the record of the clock or the clock's going to run out and they almost get the win but they don't get it. So it just means 3 hours of Raw that I can skip and not really watch it. So Strowman versus Zayn, I'm hoping it's fun, but I'm thinking that honestly it's going to be the dud of the night.